I'm gonna name names and
Yes.
you tell me what you think.
Yes.
Giovanni Vasquez.
No, that's the young kid. Yes, he's very good. Very good. Very good. Very athletic. You know, he's got youth on his side. And that's the main thing. Now, the important thing with a lot of these guys is the ability to endure in the game for many years, like
That's Gio.
Timbo.
That's Gio we're talking about.
We're talking about Gio?
Yes.
Oh, Gio, that Gio. Okay. Gio is phenomenal. I remember I was a young kid. He used to play here, the tournament. The kid has always had beautiful, he's beautiful to watch. Remember they used to call him Flame On. That was his favorite word, Flame On. And his ability to chase down a ball was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nothing bad. I think he took many other tournaments. King of the courts, I think more than one occasion, maybe 2 times or whatever. But I have nothing bad to say about the young man. Phenomenal athlete. Phenomenal.
Timbo Gonzalez.
Timbo, he held the ring for many years. Originally from St. James. His father was an excellent player too. Father was a very dominant player. And I think the fact that Timbo was willing to play and learn from other players helped him to become the kind of player that he is today. I remember I used to go sometimes down and I would see him. Personally, we never had any, but I would watch him in the tournaments and the guy was phenomenal. And I think his greatest strength was psychological. Oh, I've got to play them. He had a lot of players that were great, were intimidated by him because he made it look easy. If you watch Timbo in any of the games, he makes it look simple. Like you feel like I could get in this court and beat him. But it's one thing film footage, another thing being real life. And the guys that make it look easy are the guys who put a lot of time into it. When you see Timbo, he's not struggling, he's not fatigued. You know, sometimes his calls can be controversial. But he's passionate. He's always been passionate about the game. Nothing bad to be taken about him. He held the throne for many years. And nothing bad to say about him at all.
Gustavo Ruiz.
Tavo. Again, a young kid from 102nd. Now he was taught by 2 guys, Anthony, and I forgot the other gentleman. I was with him the other day.
Jose.
Huh? Jose, right, Jose. So he's from 102nd. And you know, Tavo was basically initially had no sense of direction. But when Anthony and Jose took him away, they taught him the proper way. Anthony and Jose were older players. They were already seasoned. So he fell into the right environment. And from early on, Tavo was hungry. Hungry. He would play in the rain, he would play in the snow. He used to play here. And he was always, even when initially when he was coming here, he would lose him. But he developed his game, he developed his stamina, and his endurance is phenomenal. And he's one of the nicest guys. He's not cocky, he's humble. He used to come here, and he used to play the kids for free. Line them up, like during the tournaments, he will come, and he will play them all for free. You couldn't get a more humble individual, willing to teach others. Incredible young man, incredible. But he was well groomed by Jose and Anthony.
What's the importance of teaching and how to teach somebody to keep him in the game?
Because when I was growing up in the 70s, people were not willing to teach you anything. You had to learn on your own. Or if you, like I came here and the older players were nice enough. Those guys that used to play small ball, they have foundation. So if you wanted to really learn the game, the small ball players, especially here, it was older guys, so they had nothing to lose. They would teach you. They would teach you the footing, the importance of sportsmanship. If the ball hit you on the wrist is part of the arm. But most people will not tell you, hey, the ball hit me in the wrist. If the ball hit you in the wrist, is part of the arm, not the hand. Most people are. Those older players will teach you the sportsmanship, the ethics of the game. Hey, be willing to call it what it is. I see a lot of players now that when the ball hits the line, the long line, they'll say, oh, hit the back of the line. Oh, hit the front. Doesn't make a difference. The line is a line. It's a good ball. All lines are good except the short line. They forgot that phrase. All lines are good except the short. So that's the back of the line. No, it's a line. It pops up. It's a good ball. You gotta play the ball. If it passes the line, that's the line. But if it hits the line, the front or the back, it's the line. You have to play. It's a good ball.
The way Angel Marquez practiced with garbage cans, what's the importance? What's the meaning? You know.
The meaning behind it was, remember, he's like a hunt. I'm gonna use this analogy. It's like hunting. The bird is in the air. You want to get it before it lands. Okay? So a good hunter knows how to bring down a bird in the air. And that's what Angel did. Angel would take the ball. He was not a guy like me. I would volley, would let the ball bounce. Not Angel. Angel knew how to play smarter. And he knew that at times he had to play harder, depending who was playing. So even you could take the ball off the air and kill it. The math is done. 1, 2, 3, simple, ABC. Angel had the eye to hand coordination. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody has that eye to hand coordination. Angel Marquez was one of those guys who had the eye to hand coordination with his left as well as his right. He had the endurance. He was a very smart player. Very, very technical. His mechanics were excellent, but he practiced at his craft. He invested the time that was necessary to become the great one. And because he was, growing up with him, he was the great one. Especially that pink ball. Nobody can do. Him and Buddy were just phenomenal players with the pink ball.
I mean, like the reason to put an object and play around it, like the way he did it.
Excuse me?
What was the reason for him to play around?
Because he wanted to take it in the air.
Yeah.
He didn't want to take a chance for it to land. I think this is a problem that happens in sometimes. Sometimes when you wait for the ball to bounce,
Yeah.
think about it. If it hits the line, what happens? It may jump either forward, backward, even the long line. It may take a hop out of your height range. So, but if you're taking it in the air, you don't have to worry about the bounce because you're taking it in the air. You're not allowing the bounce to play tricks on you, okay? So that's a factor to consider. That's the advantage of taking it in the air. Okay? You can't do that with all the shots. But if you, this is what the good players know. They know that if the ball is already reaching, they know where the short line is at, and they know where the long line. So they see that the possibility that that ball may land on the short, they'll take it off in the air to minimize. You can't prevent, you can minimize the ball landing on the line and taking a hop that's unexpected that may be out of your range. So this is what you do, you're minimizing or preventing that from occurring. So that's the advantage of taking the shot aerial.
Where would you like to see Handball go?
I would like to see it go as far as the new generation can take it. What I do not like about the recent years is the lack of sportsmanship, the lack of respect, the lack of ethics. Guys that are supposedly watching the line are also betting for or against the player, making calls that are not true. See, this is the problem that I have with tournaments. See, when these started the tournament and they would have X meet up, do the lines, they would tell me, I'll tell them, okay, do you want me to do the short line? What I would do is, I would be X amount of feet away, but I would be bending down. I wouldn't allow anybody to talk to me. And I'll be watching the line for the first shot or anything else like that. And even was my friend, I remember years back, I have a friend of mine, he was from 102nd, name is Dragon Richard. I remember, he was playing the tournament small ball. And he was playing with it, I don't remember if it was small ball or big ball. Anyway, he was my personal friend. But I was there. Right? And he made 2 4 shots, or 3. And I called it on him. He goes, Rich, 4 shot. For sure, I didn't play favorites. But you see, I'm an exception to the rule because I knew a lot of the players, they know me. But they know that I'm honest. You're my friend, or what have you, I'm gonna call it. If it's against you, I'm gonna call it. If it's for you, I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna try to play around favorites, you know? So I feel that that's what's happening now. Guys are chit-chatting, they're standing, they're at a distance, and I'm by the shoreline, or in the middle by the straddle, and I'm supposed to be doing the long line. No, if you're doing the long line, you gotta be by the long line area, and don't have any conversations. Because then, when they go, what did you see? Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, you know why you didn't see it? Because you were talking. Okay? If you're talking, you're not paying attention. I can't carry a conversation with you and watch a line. This is not multitasking. You gotta be, this is why in tennis, you notice, they got two people against the back and two people on line, and they're watching, and they're making the calls, and they don't always get it right. And yet you got four people. In handball, you should have two people, exclusively, no conversation, bending down, watching to see if anything is hitting the lines. If it's passing the line, before the line, this way you minimize. And you don't call the shot before the ball lands. A few years ago, before COVID, there was a young man refereeing a long line. And before the ball landed, he called it long, but it bounced down the line. He goes, can't make the call. You can't make the call unless the ball has landed. So I told him, no, his call was wrong. He goes, he's roughing. He goes, but I'm training him. And you got to do it. He goes, well, do it again. I go, do it again, bud. He goes, I told the young man, young man in the future, you have to allow the action to have taken place. You can't call it beforehand because you think. No, anything can happen here. At the last minute, a gust of wind may drop it before, a gust of wind may break it out. So you gotta wait until the action has taken place. It has landed, you saw it, now you make the call. And that's that. You gotta have proper, that's the bad thing about handball. The standards are dropping, there's disrespect. Nobody's being disqualified. People are allowed to use foul language, to talk back to the ref. That should not happen. There should be rules and regulations posted beforehand. Guys, before you come to this tournament, these are the rules. Any vulgarity, any improper cursing, you're disqualified. No arguing with the ref. You may appeal respectfully. And that's it. And not allow the drama because it takes away. Even if you've seen a real good game, but the arguing back and forth, it takes away from the game. You no longer want to see it. Or the other guy may get discouraged. Especially in a lot of games, you see a lot of bad calls being called over and over. The guy's being robbed. The persons are being robbed. So that's what I see now, that the ethics have to be raised, the standards have to be raised for handball to move further. Unless you raise the standards, if you have a code of conduct, the game is going to remain at a stalemate. And that's my personal observation and for what I've seen over the years.
Sir, is there anything else would you like to add?
I would like to add that
And go as long as possible.
I would like to add that we need to keep handball alive. We need to keep our handball alive. It's important to invite other people to the game, see us play. I believe that they got to create handball clinics so younger people can come, they can be exposed to the game, be taught it. Because what's happening now, the only guys that keep playing are the same group of handball players. You go to a tournament, you're basically seeing the same group of guys. You got to bring in more of the young people. Bring them in, teach them properly, and that will go a long way. That helps. I've always done that. I've always encouraged young players when I was living in the Bronx. And when I got here, I would invite them. And one thing I never do is, I never talk bad about another person behind his back. Because when you do that, whatever you say about that person, male or female, it's gonna get back to him or her. And that may discourage him from him or her playing. So even if the guy's not, or the person is not strong, find something to give encouragement. Hey, I like the way you bend. I like the way you. There's always something positive that you can say to encourage that person to continue playing the game. And then you could give tips. He goes, would you like a tip? And then you could give a tip. But do it respectfully. Ask permission. Would you like a tip? Would you like to? I've been watching your game. Wow. I think you have so much potential. I like the way you do this. Tell him first what you like about it. And he goes, would you like a tip? How you could probably improve? And that's how you do it. Always keep it positive. Don't talk about behind the backs or anything, because it's damaging to the game and it's damaging to the players.
Thank you, sir.
Do you like the interview?
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
It makes sense, right? Respect, respect, respect.
Thank you.
Okay, well,